Hello, this is Sue Simmons of Equinox Family Consulting and lemons2lemonade.mom. Pardon me. Welcome to episode 31 of To the Spectrum and Beyond. Tonight, yes, it is that time of year again when everyone starts feeling the heat, pardon the pun. It can be a really, really stressful time of year as the school year comes to an end and everyone starts getting on edge, and there are changes to schedules, and there are assemblies, and there are disruptions, and it gets hot, and there's so many things that make the end of the school year really rough for kids, and that means that it gets really rough for parents as well. So I'm going to give you a few tips tonight that I hope will help you to minimize your end of the school year stress. So, pardon me. The first word of advice I would give you is try to keep on somewhat of a regular schedule. When the weather is so nice and kids are playing outside, it's much easier to let kids keep playing than it is to herd them inside. However, when you can keep things on a regular schedule and even keel, then your child will get the regular amount of sleep that he or she needs. So try to avoid the temptation to let your son or daughter, stay up that extra half an hour, because that can make all the difference in the world. It's time for the fun fair, all about that, right? The bake sales and all those good things. They are super fun for your child, maybe not so much for you, but our kids just go bananas over these things, as you know. One of the things that I always found was really, really helpful was to leave while things are going well. And I know that goes completely against, hello, I've got someone with me, goes against our thinking to leave while things are going well. But the nice thing about that is when you do, you can redirect your child, hey, let's go home and plan something that you can do at home before you get into your nighttime schedule. And what that will allow you to do is to be able to praise your child and talk about how well things went, rather than kind of leaving things until they go sideways. Because if there is probably a decent chance that if you don't intervene, your child might get overwhelmed at some point. I have so many memories of that myself. So if you can find a time when your child isn't engrossed in something, redirect them and exit stage left and get home, and then you can say, wow, you did really well tonight. I'm proud of you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed your time at the fun fair. It was fun to see you playing X game kind of thing. And it's just it requires more planning, but it's so nice to be able to commend your child for doing well and for enjoying the event. When you are making plans, back to the schedule, be sure that you are getting your child's dinner at a reasonable time. I know I fell into this all the time. I would, with the nice weather, I'd be gardening or this or that, and I'd serve dinner later, and that often really caused problems for me. So try to serve meal times at a fairly regular time. Thank you. Again, it requires more planning, right? But it's often worth it just to try to maintain that regularity for your child. Look after yourself. Look after yourself. Self-care is not a nice to do. It is a need to do, okay? You need rest and care as much as, if not more than, your child does. When you are down and out, everyone struggles as a result. So make sure that you do not neglect yourself at this time of the year. I did that a couple of years in a row and really suffered. I went way overboard making teachers gifts and, brownies for the class and whatever. And, all for the sake of trying to support my son. But in the end, looking back, it just wasn't worth it. I don't know what I was thinking, but don't try to be super mom, especially at this time of year, okay? It does not pay off. Mind your weekends right around now. And remember that you know your child better than anyone else. So, if you've got friends inviting you over for a barbecue or whatever, don't be afraid to say, we'd love to, but this isn't the best time of year. If you know that your child is really struggling, then do what your gut tells you, okay? You are the one who knows what is best for your child. And when we feel obliged to do things, it can come back to bite us. So listen to your gut and don't let other people influence you, okay? Because you're the boss. You're the boss of you, right? So let's see, what else? There is probably about 3.5 weeks before the end of school year. What I would suggest, if there is anyone you want your child to get together with, get phone numbers now before things get too crazy, so that you can make a plan to get together, shortly after the school year ends, to try to maintain good connections. That always worked really well for me. So make a point of connecting with other parents right about now before everyone starts losing their marbles. If you're making you've probably already made plans for camps or that kind of thing. Make sure that your child knows what your plans are, okay? I made the mistake of doing some, kind of not last minute, but sort of I know what's best for you plans. And I didn't include my son in those plans. And I thought I was doing the right thing. And for my son, it wasn't. Maybe for your child, it's different. But it's a good idea to make sure that your child knows what the plans are and has a pretty decent idea of what to expect beforehand. Keep the calendar available so that you can talk about what's coming up, and that can be a source of comfort for your child to know what the plans are, how many days away, how many weeks away, depending on your child's age and stage. Don't try to minimize your child's stress. This is one thing that I feel really, really strongly about. We often, just because we love our kids so much, try to brush off what they're feeling or minimize it. But I don't recommend that. I'm a big fan of using empathy instead. Empathy is something that we all need, no matter what and no matter when. If our feelings are that we're frightened about something, if your child is willing to share that, or if you can tell by their their outward signals, then you can say something as simple as, I'm wondering how you're feeling about things right now. I'm curious how you're feeling, without asking directly. That can be kind of a nice segue, and then just kind of zip it and allow your child a little bit of time to think about it, and he or she may give you some information. And if your child is scared, anxious, upset, I always feel it's best to really allow your child to feel heard and to let them feel their feelings, because they are real. And so, we sometimes want to sweep things under the carpet, or kind of, oh, it'll be fine. But your child needs to express what he or she needs to express. And if you can allow that, it can often soften those feelings of anxiety or stress or worry, rather than trying to discount them or minimize them. Let's see, what else? You must try to find, let's see, I've got a comment here. Tara, hello. Any advice to help my son who has ASD process the anxiety he feels about leaving his teacher? Yes. Who? Okay, sorry, he's been great with this. Oh, yes. I do have a suggestion for you. Thank you for the question. What I would suggest, Tara, is that you have your child write a thank you note, do a picture or a drawing, so that he can express his feelings and say what he enjoyed about that particular teacher, and the different teacher. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I missed the second part there. Yeah. It's important to give your child an opportunity to really express those feelings. If you want to if you're going to give that teacher something, then do it well before the end of the school year, so that you can have her undivided or his undivided attention. Because when you wait until the last minute, the attention factor is always an issue, and things just get diluted. So you want to make sure that your child is able to connect with that person and receive that person's gratitude. Does that help? I hope so. And I think the last word of advice I would offer you is too much of anything isn't a good thing. Too much fun, too much excitement, too much playtime with cousins or relatives. I think moderation is the best thing at this time of the year. And just, oh, great. I'm so happy. Wonderful. Yeah, moderation is, I think, is the best thing at this time of year, especially for you. Don't try to do it all, because you know what it's like. We spread ourselves too thin, we get overstretched, and we forget things, we drop balls, and then we start, beating ourselves up. And so be reasonable with what you can do well and feel good about. So we all want to be that parent who, bakes brownies for the entire school, right? I know I did. I wanted to anyways. If you want to do brownies, go and buy them from a bakery and then take them over, and who cares whether you made them or not, right? Let's just be honest and be real about what we can do and do well. And just honor yourself as a parent for getting through yet another school year. And moms, you rock. It's a tough job that we have, and it's an even tougher job for us at this time of the year. So, be your best self. Be kind to yourself. Be mindful of what you're taking on, and be mindful of what your child can manage, because you know your child better than anyone else in the world. So thank you so much for joining me tonight.